The strange thing is, most people don't notice the damage while it's happening, because the collapse of focus doesn't feel dramatic. It doesn't arrive like a heart attack, or a financial crash, or a public failure. It arrives quietly, one distracted day at a time. You postpone reading the book you promised yourself you'd finish. You delay learning the skill you swore would change your future. You tell yourself you'll start tomorrow. Then tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. And eventually something unsettling happens. You begin watching your own life from a distance, not living it, watching it, observing yourself constantly planning, constantly consuming, constantly preparing, but rarely moving. It's one of the defining emotions of modern adulthood. The feeling that you're busy all the time, yet somehow standing still. And that's where the focus crisis becomes something much darker. Because this isn't just about attention anymore. It's about action. Think about how many people know exactly what they should be doing. They know they should exercise. They know they should save money. They know they should spend less time online. They know they should learn new skills. They know they should sleep more. They know they should stop procrastinating. Knowledge has never been more available, yet transformation has never felt more elusive. Why? Because information doesn't create change. Attention does. The internet solved the information problem, but it accidentally created an attention problem. And attention is what converts knowledge into reality. Without sustained attention, knowledge remains trapped inside potential. It's like owning a map but never taking the journey. You know where to go. You simply never stay focused long enough to get there. And this creates a unique kind of suffering. Not the suffering of failure. The suffering of unrealized potential. The suffering of becoming aware of what you're capable of, while repeatedly failing to become it. That's the feeling millions of people carry every day. The uncomfortable awareness that there is a gap between who they are and who they could be. And every year that gap feels wider, not because they're lazy, not because they're unintelligent, because modern life constantly interrupts the process required to close it, the process of sustained effort, the process of deep work, the process of patience, the process of focus. But there is another force making this problem even worse, something far more psychological. Comparison. For most of human history, people compared themselves to their village, their town, their immediate community, maybe a few hundred people. Today, you compare yourself to the entire world. Every day, every hour, sometimes every minute. You open your phone and instantly encounter someone richer, smarter, more attractive, more successful, more productive, more disciplined, more accomplished. And your brain does something it was never designed to do. It treats these people as your social reality. Suddenly, your ordinary life feels inadequate. Your progress feels slow. Your achievements feel small. Your timeline feels behind. And when people feel behind, something predictable happens. Their attention becomes unstable. Because anxiety and focus are natural enemies, the anxious mind struggles to stay present. It constantly scans for threats, constantly searches for certainty, constantly seeks reassurance. And modern platforms provide an endless supply of both anxiety and reassurance. One minute you're worried, the next minute you're distracted, then entertained, then worried again, then distracted again. It's an emotional roller coaster disguised as a normal day. No wonder people feel exhausted. Their nervous systems rarely get a chance to rest. But here's the deeper tragedy. Many people mistake this exhaustion for laziness. They look at themselves struggling to focus and conclude something is wrong with them. Maybe I'm weak. Maybe I'm undisciplined. Maybe I'm not ambitious enough. Maybe successful people simply have something I don't. But that's rarely the full story. Imagine asking a fish why it struggles to breathe outside water. The problem isn't the fish. The problem is the environment. And modern environments are increasingly hostile to attention. Every app competes. Every platform competes. Every company competes. Every creator competes. Not for your money, for your mind. And the competition is ruthless. Because attention has become economic power. The longer you stay engaged, the more valuable you become. This is why everything feels louder than it used to. News feels louder, advertising feels louder, entertainment feels louder, politics feels louder. Everyone is trying to break through the noise. And when everyone shouts, silence becomes impossible, which creates another hidden consequence. People lose contact with themselves. Because self-awareness requires silence. Think about the last time you sat alone without music, videos, podcasts, messages, or distractions. No stimulation, no content, just your thoughts. For many people, that experience feels uncomfortable, even frightening. And that should concern us. Because throughout history, solitude wasn't considered a punishment. It was considered necessary. Writers sought it. Philosophers sought it. Inventors sought it. Thinkers sought it. Not because solitude always felt pleasant, because important insights often emerge from uninterrupted thought. But uninterrupted thought has become increasingly rare. The average person now spends much of their waking life consuming thoughts created by other people. Someone else's opinions, someone else's stories, someone else's outrage, someone else's priorities, and eventually a strange question emerges. If you're constantly absorbing everyone else's attention, when do you hear your own mind? When do your own ideas develop? When do your own beliefs mature? When do your own ambitions become clear? Because identity requires reflection, and reflection requires attention. Without attention, you become reactive. You drift toward whatever captures your focus in the moment. A headline determines your mood. A comment determines your confidence. A trend determines your interests. An algorithm determines your curiosity. And over time, life starts feeling strangely directionless. Not because you lack intelligence, because your attention keeps getting redirected before your deeper motivations can surface. This is why so many people describe modern life as overwhelming. They're not overwhelmed by a lack of opportunities. They're overwhelmed by too many competing demands on their attention. Every option creates another decision. Every decision consumes mental energy. Every mental demand fragments focus a little further, until eventually even simple tasks feel exhausting. Researchers sometimes call this decision fatigue, but the experience feels much more personal. It feels like your brain is constantly running in the background, like dozens of browser tabs open simultaneously, each one demanding resources, each one slowing the system down. And the frightening part is that many people have forgotten what mental clarity feels like. They've lived inside noise for so long that noise feels normal. Constant stimulation feels normal. Constant distraction feels normal. Constant urgency feels normal. But normal doesn't mean healthy. A person living next to a train track eventually stops noticing the trains. That doesn't mean the trains disappeared. It means adaptation occurred. And human beings adapt remarkably well. Sometimes too well. We adapt to stress. We adapt to anxiety. We adapt to overload. We adapt to environments that slowly drain us. Which means one of the greatest dangers of the modern attention crisis is its invisibility. People don't notice what they've lost because the loss happened gradually. A little focus here, a little patience there, a little curiosity, a little depth, a little presence. Until one day they wake up wondering why life feels blurry, why years pass so quickly, why memories feel thinner, why time feels accelerated. And that question reveals something profound, because focus doesn't just determine what you accomplish. Focus determines what you experience. Whatever receives attention becomes part of your life. Whatever doesn't receive attention effectively disappears. A sunset unnoticed might as well not exist. A conversation half listened to becomes forgettable. A relationship neglected weakens. A dream ignored fades. Attention is the mechanism through which reality becomes meaningful. And when attention fragments, meaning fragments with it, which leads us to one of the most uncomfortable truths of all. The modern attention crisis is not simply making people less productive. It may be making people less alive, not physically, psychologically, because being alive isn't merely existing. It's experiencing, noticing, feeling, engaging, participating, and participation requires presence. The kind of presence that algorithms cannot manufacture, the kind of presence that notifications interrupt, the kind of presence that endless stimulation slowly erodes, which raises a haunting possibility. What if the greatest cost of distraction isn't lost time? What if it's a lost life? Not a life that disappears suddenly. A life that slowly slips away beneath constant consumption. One scroll at a time, one distraction at a time, one interrupted moment at a time. And if that's true, then the solution may require something much deeper than productivity hacks. Because this isn't just a battle for efficiency.